Wow, 200 subscribers. Big thanks to all of you guys who appreciate what I do. That really helps motivate me to keep doing this. At first, I didn't really think that this was going to be more than a hobby. I really wanted to find something to keep me busy during this pandemic. But here I am. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and that's because of you guys. Alright, by the way, my name is Brian G. For those of you who are new here, I make videos about tech, gadgets, and upgrades on a budget. So if you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing. Today, we are going to talk about actually a keyboard. It's been a while since I've upgraded my keyboard and I feel it's time. And this time, I'm going to be using a smaller form factor. So let's jump right into it. My keyboard has been due for an upgrade for quite some time now. I've been using the Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition for quite some time now, and its wear and tear is starting to show. I thought it was a perfect time to move to a different form factor and try the smaller ones that have been popular to gamers and minimalists lately. So I went with the AnPro 2. So let's check it out. The AnPro 2 is a 60% keyboard that is aimed at minimalist setups. As a budget mechanical keyboard at 3,300 pesos, it has quite a number of features that makes it a very good choice. This one comes in a fairly good packaging. Inside the box you get a keyboard, keycap remover, instruction manual, and a red USB-C to USB-A cable, in addition to some custom colored caps. I'm not a fan of the cable color. I wish this was either black or white. For keyboards, I think that this is one of the most important aspects. You will probably interact with this device quite frequently, so it's important that it's built to last. This device measures 29 centimeters for the width and 10 centimeters for the height, with 2 centimeters thickness at the front and 3 centimeters at the back, providing a 10-degree elevation. It does not come with an adjustable feet, so you are stuck with one orientation. It's made of hard plastic and has a really good weight to it. My variant came in with brown Gateron switches. You can choose from Gaterons and cherries, and this comes with PBT keycaps. The keycaps itself comes with indicator for function keys, which is really helpful. The RGB lights also shines through quite nicely, showing the keys when using it in the dark. Some keys though are not quite lit properly compared to others, although this might just be an issue with my unit. The overall design is really nice. It's easy enough to match with most of the setups as this is highly customizable. I went with the black variant and bought additional white keycaps for additional customizability. The included keycap remover is really nice and not your typical plastic type remover, plus points right here. In case you did not know, there are actually several keyboard form factors. You have the full size with all the keys and number pad, the 10 keyless, which is 80%, 75%, and all the way to 60%. There are a couple of reasons you would want to go for this form factor, and let me highlight a few of them. Aesthetics. For the 60% keyboard, I feel this is the most popular reason. Most minimalist setups will be opting for a smaller keyboard. Coupled with a custom cable, this really pops as a centerpiece of your setup. Gaming flexibility. Having a smaller keyboard will allow you to have more space for your mouse to glide across, and this will also allow you to position your keyboard more to the center of your gaming space, which makes it more comfortable for gaming. With a full-size keyboard, it forces you to position your mouse way to the right or your keyboard way to the left, and in both scenarios, it's a bit awkward to play games with a keyboard and mouse. This is one of the reasons pro gamers would actually use 10 keyless variants and not opt for a full-size keyboard, as the number pad will not really be used in most games anyway. And lastly, portability. Being a small keyboard, this can fit in many bags, which makes it really easy to carry. With this model, you can have an option to go Bluetooth and not even carry a cable with you, which is really nice and adds more flexibility. A couple of things you might want to consider before moving to a smaller form factor. Number 1 is the fewer keys. With a 60% keyboard, you lose the arrow keys, the function keys, and the number pad. This keyboard, however, has a nice feature of using the right shift, function, control, and this button as arrow keys, which is nice, so it's just like I did not really lose the arrow keys. I was always used to having a full-sized keyboard, which allowed me to use certain keyboard shortcuts easily for work, specifically Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint. But this is specific to me. If you're not used to using these function keys, it shouldn't be an issue. This is not to say that the function keys are gone with this keyboard. It's just accessed differently by holding and pressing the function key. I've been using this keyboard for a month now, and I'm still getting used to the function keys just to be able to use shortcuts I've been accustomed to in the past. Dedicated macro keys. Having dedicated macro keys is always nice. I have used quite a lot of these in my previous keyboard, and it has served me well. You'll not get that with a 60% keyboard. Sure, macro keys are still there, but it won't be dedicated keys. As a workaround for this, you can get a Stream Deck specifically for that function or download the app version of Stream Deck. The application for this is called OBIDSKit. You can install it by following the QR code included in the manual. The application layout is pretty detailed. It's a bit overwhelming actually, but to summarize, you have the General tab, which has all your usual information, the Layout tab, which allows you to load different keyboard layouts, the Lighting tab, pretty self-explanatory, Macro keys, and Music reaction. I will not go into detail on all of the tabs, but I will dive into some that will mostly be used in my opinion. The default Macro tab already has a lot of useful shortcuts, but if you want to add more, there are a lot of options. You get 4 extra set of keyboard layouts just for macros. You can even save this offline to be stored in the onboard memory for Bluetooth use. Speaking of Bluetooth, this one actually has 4 profiles which you can set to 4 different devices. This is really helpful for when you decide to bring this along to travel with. On to the RGB lights. You have several light profiles with several lighting layouts. You can even download user-made profiles and add it into your existing profiles for additional customization. You can also download lighting profiles to the keyboard for offline use. There is also an option to create your own profiles if you're into that level of customization. Personally, I'm just happy being able to use white static as a backlight to match my aesthetic. I initially had second thoughts going to a smaller form factor, being used to a full-size keyboard with macros all my life. But after a few weeks of use, I don't really notice the difference except for a few instances when I'm using this for work. At this price point, this keyboard packs a lot of features and has a great build quality. So much customization and flexibility in such a small form factor. This is a perfect entry to the smaller form factor keyboard space if you have been thinking of switching for some time now. If you're okay with losing some of that functionality for a good looking keyboard, then I suggest you try this out. And that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video if you like what you saw. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.